Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be my 4-month update for Pan That Palette. So as you guys know, I do a baby Pan That palette and a Pan That palette. My baby Pan That palette is a smaller palette, 2, 3, 4, up to 5 pan palettes. I'm thinking about moving my 5 pan palettes to a palette category and not a baby Pan That palette, because at the rate that I'm panning 2 pan palettes, I don't dare put a 5 pan palette as a baby Pan That palette, but I will cross that bridge at a later date. But currently I am working on a duo for my baby Pan That palette, and it's going to stay in this project until I finish those 2 shadows completely. Once I manage to achieve that goal, I will roll in something else for my baby Pan That palette. But in general, I consider a project like Pan That palette to be a year-long commitment. Baby Pan That palette is a commitment until it's finished. So currently I am panning this little Smashbox Duo right here. This was part of my Pan That palette for last year. I did the panning solitaire project with the Pantastic Ladies, and this was my duo for that project. I hit pan in one of the 2 shadows last year, and now I'm working to finish off this entire duo. Let me show you a picture of what this looked like last month. And this is what it looks like today. I've really only used this a few times. I am hoping that maybe I expanded the pan slightly in the bottom. There's still not much of a dip forming in the top shade, but I am using it. I'm actually wearing both of these shades today on my eyes, and this is just my go-to neutral look that involves these 2 shades plus 1 shade from my Pan That palette, which I'll show you in just a second. And it's just a nice neutral brown look that I like very much, and I've kind of gotten used to this gold. Maybe it was just one of those shades that had a little bit of a harder layer on the outer edge, but once you get past that top layer, it's a little bit creamier and better performing underneath, because I feel like now I'm having better luck with this top shimmery shade than I was all last year. And I feel like, granted, I put my makeup on like 12 hours ago, so it's looking a little rough now, but I feel like I like it. It's a nice neutral look. I have no complaints, but hopefully I expanded pan a little bit on this shade. To be honest, I only used this duo a couple of times in the past month, so I'm getting really tired of posting comparison pictures that look exactly the same. I would like this to look different next month than what it looks like now. And that matte shade is quite powdery. It has quite a bit of kick up, so I should be able to make a lot of progress on this based on the amount of kick up it gives every single time I use it. It's been a while since I've worked on a product with that much kick up. Okay, let's move on to my Pan That palette. The theme for this year with the Pantastic Ladies is tiny pans. I love that theme. It was so cute. It was such an adorable idea, and I decided to go with my Viseart Petite Pro 2 for my Tiny Pans Pan That palette. This is an 8 pan palette with 8 grams of product, but it's super tiny and it's so cute. So let me show you a picture of what this looked like last month. And this is what it looks like today. I had one goal this past month, one goal, and that was to hit pan on this peach shade. And as you hopefully can see, I did manage to do that. I don't want to say I'm super pleased with myself, because it was a very achievable goal, but I'm glad I did it. I'm really happy to finally have my first pan in this palette. When I think back to other Pan That palettes I've done in the past, I don't think I've ever gone this long in the year without hitting pan on something. So it took a long time. It took like 3.5 months to hit pan in this shade. The good news is that this is a small pan. So hopefully, even though I'm just hitting pan, I used up quite a bit of product from this pan. That's the goal. I don't know, we'll see. I do still have dips going in the 3 matte shades. Those are the shades that I reach for the most. I definitely prefer this top row over this bottom row. But also I definitely feel like I have less competition for this top row than this bottom row. I have a ton of shimmery products to choose from for my eyelids, and I don't have a ton of mattes. So it's easy to reach for these mattes to kind of set up my look and then go for one of the other shimmery eyelid shades that are in other projects instead of these. So it may be obvious, but the eyeshadow from this palette that I like to pan with my Smashbox Duo is the matte brown. So what I do is I take the matte brown and I kind of put it in my outer V and along the outside of my lower lash line. And then I take the matte shade down here and run that through my crease and transition area. And then I pop the gold on my lid. Those 3 together work very well, and I think for the next month I want to focus in on those 3 shadows the most. That's my plan. I want to start getting some more use out of this guy, and by doing this look more frequently, I will automatically get some more use out of this matte brown shade. I do think I should pick a shimmer shade to start focusing in on though, because I'm worried that I'm not going to make much progress with these if I don't start working on them. I do really like pairing these 2 shades together, the matte purple and this kind of light silvery pinky purple shade. So I think I need to focus in on these 2 as well. So for the next month, I want to do as many looks as I can with these 2 shades and then this matte brown and the 2 shades from this duo. I'm not going to be working on this peach shade as much because when it comes to my transition area, I'm going to try and focus in on this one more. So now that I've hit pan on this shade, I'm going to leave it alone for the next month. It might get used a few times, but for now, my plan for this palette for the next month is to focus on these 2 matte shades and this one. Maybe I could hit pan in these 2 shades, and maybe I could just get a dip going in this one. I don't think I'm anywhere near hitting pan on that one, but I do think it's possible that I could hit pan in one of the matte shades if I use it consistently enough. We will see. That is the plan. Things are still going well with these shadows. Overall, I really enjoy using them. I've said it many times, but I don't know if this Petite Pro palette stands up to the reputation that Viseart eyeshadows have or the quality that the price tag would suggest. They're still good shadows. I can't say that enough. They're good shadows and I really like them, but I don't know if they're like high-end shadows the way other Viseart shadows are considered. I feel like I always have to give that disclaimer because it's a good palette, but it's not great, but I like it. I'm in a weird place with it, but I'm really enjoying panning this, and I think this pairs nicely with so many other eyeshadows that I'm working on, and I'm having a ton of fun this year. I wish my progress was a little bit further along, but I'm enjoying myself. All right, you guys, I'm so excited to finally have a pan in my Pan That palette for 2021. It is about time. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.